everyone. Today we are going out and tackling the third storage unit, which is a wooden shed. We previously tackled the garage and two other storage units. So I have a playlist that I'll link below. Now, before we jump into the wooden shed, we did have one task to do, which was I purchased a fishing rod holder from Amazon, and we are putting that together and then taking it to the sea container storage where we will put all of the fishing rods on that so they're not so tangled. So let's go and let's get it done. All right, stay with me on this because we are putting this fishing pole rod holder together, and you'll see my husband's feet in the top left because he's sitting watching TV in his pajama bottoms and his socks, all comfortable. And that's fine. This was my undertaking, and I'm happy to take on little puzzles like this. So this actually had really great instructions and was pretty easy to put together. I kind of noticed that it really is tailored to what you need. So you can move the top and the bottom piece up or down to fit the rods and reels that you have. And I think I would have liked to maybe have some marks on the sides so I could know I was even without using a level. So if I had some recommendations, it might be that. And when I put the tops on, which plug the top, those were really hard to do. Now on the bottom, there were 2 plates to add, and you had to unscrew the little levers to do that. And you'll see coming up in just a moment, one of them came completely off and the washer fell in the track. So I was having a little bit of a difficult time getting it off because I couldn't get the plug off of the foot. And I tried like some needle nose pliers, which I'm doing here. That didn't work. So I finally got a screwdriver that had a magnetic tip, and that ends up helping me get it out right there. So once you get these on, again, there's no markers on these bars, so I did have to loosen them and like even them out to make sure that the edges were in the right places. So in the sea container, this is how we were storing them, and I then take just a few minutes to load them in. And we'll spend another day actually going through them with my brother and putting new line on them. But this was a good attempt. And now we're going to work on the shed. All right, so this is the state of this big wooden shed. Tools, spare wood, miscellaneous stuff. I need to see if my brother-in-law wants that cabinet. Okay, let's see. You guys, I'm actually excited to get this shed done. I don't like it when things are in such disarray, and I really don't like coming out to this wooden shed because that back window is cracked open, and I know mice and other little things get in here, and I am not a fan. I will scream if I see a mouse. Good gracious, I can't even speak today. So we are just really trying to pull things out of here to relocate. This is an empty bin. Those ice chests we're going to put in the sea container. So we have more room over there now that we've already gone through that and made space there. You're going to see that we move several things around or touch things multiple times, and that's just part of the process until you figure out where things will have their home. But I'm very glad that my husband was up for doing this because I needed his muscles. There's a lot of things that I cannot lift and don't even want to try. So the other thing that we find in here is my brother, who is an excellent, he's a realtor, he has his irrigation license, and he is a handyman as well. He has done so much work for us, and there are a lot of things in this shed that belong to him. At least 2 of the tubs and a black kind of duffel bag and some other things. So not everything in this shed belongs to us. We also find things that my mother-in-law has thrown in here with the intention, like this lamp that's broken. And I think she thinks, well, your brother might want to fix it, or your brother might want to use these things, when he has enough projects and we just need to go ahead and let those things go. So what I'm looking at now, this actually burnt up as part of a lightning strike, I think, at my mother-in-law's house. So that can be trashed, and we take a picture and send her, asking her about all the cable that's there, and she thought my brother might want to use it. So we can't keep procrastinating on things like this. So we went ahead and decided we would let that go, and it was tangled up. So I just have to work to get it untangled. And I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse. It's that time of year with allergens, and my wonderful husband not aware of where the camera was. Oh, you have to laugh at these things, right? So this shed really is intended to store like building supplies. That happens to be plumbing supplies there. We have spare wood that we've used in the past. Those are water jugs for camping. So we've got all the camping in the sea containers. So we're moving that around and relocating them, which it's only about 10 or 20 yards from the shed. So it's not far to relocate. And at this point, I'm just trying to assess what is this inventory we have, and just put like things with like. So the plumbing, I move around. A lot of these are little parts. These baskets have been in there for years and we've never used them, so we decided to donate those. And all of this is just spare PVC pipe, so we will hang on to all of that. And a few things for trash. At this point, I'm asking my husband, why is this window open? Because mice are going to come in. But it's his mom's shed, so she'll have to tell us if she wants us to close it. But I don't know why it's cracked open, but there's no screen on it, so little critters can come in. And again, just rearranging. Most of the spare wood is on the left side, so I'm just trying to stack it up over there. This is part of living out in the country. You don't want to just run to town if you need a piece of wood or something. We do come in here and use the stuff that's in here. It's just not super frequent. I think kind of watching this back, it's kind of funny because my husband will move stuff and then I maybe moved it. And I don't see what he's doing because my back is turned. Like what he just put down, he's going to cover it up. And had I not watched this video, I wouldn't realize that it was underneath once he covers it up. So now I know where it is. So I may have to move that around a little bit. That is an anchor. And we'll move that over to the sea container because that's where we have our boating supplies. And what he just moved goes to our pump house for our water, and we're keeping that as a spare part. We've had to replace it a couple of times, and again, living out in the country, you just need to have these type of things around, especially if they're a financial investment. You know, if you can't replace it for $20, you probably need to hold on to it because it is an investment. Look how dirty his shirt is too. He's been working hard, but things are very dusty. It's not my husband, that's my brother's bike helmet that's been here for years, never been used. So when he comes to visit, we'll show him all of his stuff and see what he wants to take with him, or if he wants to donate anything. So that whole stack to the right is his stuff. A lot of discussion going on too. So at this point, my husband, strong man that he is, moves his cabinet by himself. It was my dad's, and I think it used to have either paint or oil. And my brother-in-law is very handy, mechanical, and so he'll decide whether he wants to clean that up and keep it and use it in his shop. And so now I'm just kind of pulling some PVC pipe out and moving it over to where the rest of the PVC pipe is. And you'll see my husband will walk in with a couple of pieces that we had at the house. We had a second electric strike that took out our water, and we had to have the well guys come out and fix it. And those were some extra pieces left behind. So we're just storing those for right now. All right, here is the after. We relocated ice chest to our sea container. We are taking some stuff to the trash. We moved things up on the shelf. So we have plumbing up here, PVC, some small wood pieces. And it was just about getting some stuff out. We're gonna move the tarps over to another storage so they're protected. And we're gonna give that cabinet to my brother-in-law or sell it. And then this stack here is stuff that belongs to my brother. These are things that belong to us, but for now it is a little bit cleaner, a little bit more organized, and those items are my brother's as well. And that's it. All right, one last thing to do that has to deal with the storage sheds is in the sea container where we have our camping material. We have a couple of wool blankets, and we also have our old dog's bed and her blankets. And so I bought some of these space bags or vacuum bags to seal them down and make them a little bit smaller. I had them in a Rubbermaid tub that when I pushed on it, it cracked because it's so old. So it was just time to get them organized. If you haven't used these, sometimes they can be hit or miss. Sometimes they leak or they don't seal well. But if you can get them to work, it does size things down significantly and creates more space. The friend's home that I was just at, we put her Christmas pillows away and we used these, and I used them in her spare bedroom closet, and it just gave her so much space. So I think they are worth it, but don't skimp and get a poor quality. Go ahead and invest and get a higher quality brand. And I'm happy to link the ones that I have purchased in the comments below or in the description below. And I know they sell some at Walmart too. They're pretty accessible, but I would say go ahead and don't skimp on getting a generic. Try to get maybe a heavier duty one that gets higher ratings. I struggled with it a little bit, the vacuum. The vacuum wand was giving me a little bit of a fit, but in the end, I won. It's not an all competition all the time, but between me and these, I won. Put in the comments below if you've used these, and if you haven't, if you have another alternative solution, share that too. I always like learning about other options as well. All right, guys, that was the last of the storage areas. I may have one more video where I look a little bit deeper into our garage where we have all of our paint. I still may want to put a different shelving unit there instead of the cabinets that I have, but I think I need to dive into that because I haven't looked at that paint in a while. I need to order some touch-up paint for around the house and things like that. And I think we are going to have to paint the tiny house this spring. So all of that will be in an upcoming episode. It might be a 10-minute Thursday. We shall see what it looks like when I jump into it. But thanks for watching this series on storage and garages. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to close like my dad always closed his voicemail messages. Bye for now.